the element of pure concentrated coolness, sitting on the brink of good and evil, complete emotionlessness, and crybaby outbursts. Hello everyone, the Green Scorpion here, and on this day of foolishness, we're going to celebrate perhaps the worst jokesters in the world, the Edgelords. But what is an Edgelord really? The term edgy has been around for generations, as in the cutting edge, something new and popular. But I think Daria the cartoon explains it best as something made to appear like it's taking risks and living dangerous, when really it's something that's taking no risks whatsoever, designed by a focus group to be a surefire hit with audiences. But what's considered edgy changes with the times. Elvis was edgy in the 50s, Wolverine was edgy in the 70s. Edge might be relative, but the recent meme Edgelord is very specific to our time. It's a character who doesn't care, or appears not to care, is not outwardly emotive, or never seems to take the situation seriously. They walk away from explosions, wear sunglasses at night, can be good but are associated with darkness or evil, and probably spend their free time leaning on walls or brooding on rooftops. We're looking for characters who match these descriptions, either where the developers tried way too hard to make a character cool, or where the character itself is actually trying to act edgy. We're looking for the best, the worst, the coolest, the lamest, the top 15 video game edgelords. Why top 15? Well, who cares? Doesn't matter anyway. Nothing matters. Edgelords make great anti-heroes. Take Magus from Chrono Trigger, for instance. No, really, take him. Don't leave him to die. The leader of the Fiends, Magus is the clearest thing you get to a central villain until it's revealed he's actually working against the big bad Lavos. Only, he'd never tell you that because joining forces with the Princess and the Frog would totally ruin his reputation. What helps him squeak onto this list is how he acts if you opt to recruit him. He's arguably the best character in the game with his well-rounded stats, unique shadow magic, and interdimensional scythe, but the whole time it feels like he just doesn't belong here. He barely interacts with the group, and while traveling through dungeons, he just kind of floats and reclines behind the party. And what's the most unique thing about this battle system again? The double techs and triple techs? No, I'm not doing a combo attack with you. I fight alone. No double techs for me. Okay, fine, I'll be in 2 triple techs, but I'm making them really obscure matchups, and they require you to equip random gemstones hidden across the timelines. And I get to call one of them Eternal Darkness. Every battle I use him in, I feel like I ROM hacked the game. Playing through Pokemon Moon, I couldn't help but fall in love with Gladion, one of my new favorite boss trainers. Oh, I was supposed to be making a countdown about that, wasn't I? Whatever. There's a lot of teen angst coming off of this one. Like, yeah, I know, kid, you've had it rough. You were all rich before, but your supermodel mom's obsessed with space jellyfish, and you just want to get out. Puberty's tough for everyone. I would have loved to see the day he left the Aether Foundation. My mom sucks. I'm gonna go live on my own, and hang out in hotels, and join a street gang. And I'm taking my Chimera dog with me. It's just you and me now, Noah. Well, maybe it's a little more dignified than that. Honestly, the best scenes are when he's paired up with Hao. Like at the Battle Royale, when Hao tells him he should try being more positive. Oh, okay, that's what he should do. He's homeless, you privileged moron! However, it's the hand that gets me. So much angst, it shakes his nervous system. He does come around by the end, and he must be a good friend to Null because he manages to evolve it, being the first person in the world with a Sylvie if I'm correct. But having a secret sensitive side is kind of a big part of the Edgelord model anyway. Seriously, it's something about scythes. We're back to Piastol from Skies of Arcadia. Known as the Angel of Death, which again plays with the duality of heaven and hell, Piastol has an unwavering hatred for pirates, even though in this world only half of all pirates are actually evil. She's yet another child of powerful parents whose life was taken away from her. Wow, 3 for 3 so far. And a misunderstanding about how it happened makes her utterly despise everything about Vise and the Blue Rogues. I'm noticing that a lot of lone wolves also tend to have that one animal that's really special to them. Not as well defined here as Gladion's type Null, but Piastol does have a poisonous wolf thing that fights alongside her. Meanwhile, she's slinging the scythe and using the rarely seen insta-death spells. Like Gladion, she comes around at the end and reconnects with her little sister, but that's only if you complete 2 really involved side quests. You want to see her smile again? Better collect all the moonfish, I guess. Even then, she's not gonna live with Doc and Maria or anything. She just comes by for a visit, still wearing her brash Matrix meets Chicago battle gear. There aren't a ton of high-ranking edge ladies out there. It's kind of a male-dominated trope. The fact that I even feel the need to bring that up is indicative. I guess it's just that female characters are so often objectified, and edgelords often reject any kind of appeal to that. Well, even being on a ship in the Howling Gales, Piastol risks death by exposure not because she looks hot, but because she looks so freaking cool. Okay, so get this. There's this German guy named Siegfried, and he's a pretty good kid for the most part. I mean, he slips up from time to time, falls in with the wrong crowd, represses the memory that he actually beheaded his own father, but other than that, he's your regular Boy Scout. Then he finds the legendary blade Soul Edge, and it edges up his soul. He picks up some bad tendencies after that, starts calling himself Nightmare, harvesting people's mortality, and collecting albums from Mayhem and Deicide. Eventually, with some help from Raphael, Siegfried casts off his armor and carapace arm and rejects Soul Edge. And what happens? Soul Edge absorbs all the malice from Siegfried and manifests itself into an entirely separate body, a new, hulking incarnation of pure edginess. I can't make this stuff up. So why number 12 if Nightmare is literally an avatar of angst? Nightmare has a great look, complete with covered face and plenty of unnecessary spikes, but he's more of a Dark Lord Sauron than a Neo, you know? He does the loud side of Edgelord great, but he doesn't have that calm, quiet side. He's the only character on this list I couldn't see standing in deep thought on top of a cathedral. If you get him up there, though, he'll gladly knock people off the roof. BlazBlue is a pretty edgy game in general, so I had a lot to consider. In the end, it came down to the brothers. But Jin's more of a drama queen, while Ragna literally carries the title of Blood Edge. Like, what does that even mean? Because his sword makes people bleed? Is he tough as nails that his blood solidifies into an edge? I don't know, it's just cool. Which was the entire design philosophy with this guy. How did they make him such a typical anime protagonist and still get so overhype? Spiky white hair, bright red trench coat, different colored eyes, and he curses like a sailor. Rated T for teen, you gosh damn kids. I think swords are quickly overtaking scythes for edgiest weapon, but in this case, Ragna's transforms. And don't make him mad, there's a monster inside of him, cause of course there is. Why else would he yell like this? You hear that? That's the battle cry of a demon-filled edgelord who doesn't give up. Bleach has nothing on this guy. Dante was a consideration. He's got the white hair, red coat, bombastic emotional moments, and he treats most life or death situations like he's competing in the X Games and the Last Comic Standing simultaneously. By the 4th game, he's checked out entirely and is just dicking around. But edge is relative, and Devil May Cry 3 introduced his even edgier half-demon brother with a thinner sword and bluer coat. Wow, a lot like Ragna and Jin now that I think about it. Virgil focuses his awesomeness through his weapon, moving it at the speed of light and slashing through time and space, all the while acting quite bored. And he blocks by helicoptering his sword. This should look stupid, but it's actually pretty amazing. I'm not saying Dante's hammy one-liners disqualified him, but Virgil's taking himself so seriously it hurts. Even without the demon blood, he'd be a shoo-in. And when he falls at the end... Yeah, I could grab your hand, but that just wouldn't be as cool. Later, loser. Enjoy this cut on your palm. We hate to see him leave, but we love to watch him go. Most of the Ace Attorneys have at least a little bit of edge. It takes a certain flair for the dramatic to survive as a lawyer here. Godot's enigmatic, Franziska's physically threatening, and Miles is more than worth his edge. But Simon Blackquill. Wait, before you even look at him. Simon Blackquill. Take in that name. Okay, now look at him. Magnificent. Tired people get circles under their eyes, but Blackquill gets fangs under his. You can tell a lot about someone by their hair. This black and white dude tells me not everything here is simply black and white. We got some moral conflict going on in that noggin. He's got the rep to match. Not only is he a prosecutor, he's a convicted murderer, still carrying out his sentence, but brought in just to make life for Team Phoenix a living hell. To be fair though, he did have that look before he was arrested. Sometimes the hair comes first. Psychologically tormenting his opponents and slashing through the evidence, he's become known as the Twisted Samurai. I thought this guy was a lawyer. At least he's got his pet hawk as his one friend. I'd tell you more, but the truth is so powerful, the revelation might send ripples through the internet and destroy gaming as we know it. Or, you know, spoil the game, and that would suck. I don't know what's edgier, Raiden or his soundtrack. I'm pretty sure Rules of Nature is the new Edgelord anthem. Raiden's rise to stardom never ceases to amaze me. You establish Solid Snake as a pretty down-to-earth badass, advertise him as a star of Metal Gear Solid 2, then you bait and switch him for this pansy. He's such a whiner with his weeaboo sword. Sure, he likes action, but he's not ready for field work. All he's ever done is play simulations, kinda like the VR missions in the first game. Oh my god, he's us! I don't want to play as myself. I want to be Snake! Even after deflecting bullets with a katana and fighting an army of Metal Gear single-handedly, he just always seemed like a disappointment. And almost as recompense for that, he got his limbs torn off and became a cyborg ninja. Then he got fixed. Then he became a cyborg again. And you thought your life was hard. Raiden is like Virgil on steroids. He flips giant mechs over his head, then sighs afterwards like he couldn't care less. If I just parried the Chrysler Building, I wouldn't be reserved or jokey about it. I'd be hopped up on adrenaline and hoping someone took a video of it. Every scene is just him pushing the envelope trying to one-up his last ludicrous stunt. It must be exhausting. Also, Dark Alter Ego mode. Yeah, he can't get too angry or violent, or else his Jack the Ripper personality might come out. Funny how they never brought that up in the previous games. I'm getting a funny feeling that they're not taking this canon seriously.